I've seen so many things as an African American that makes me question, or made me question growing up, sort of, is it harder to be an African American than any other race? My name is Darrell Brown, and I am a producer and videographer at CUNY Television. As a kid growing up, I was a couch potato, a TV watcher. That's all I would do. No, I joke when I say that. Obviously, I went to school and I got good grades. Not great grades, but good grades. And I did my due diligence, but coming home, I would definitely focus on TV in a sense of how shows were done. And I realized that I had a curiosity in how that's done. And obviously the outlet being watching television, I pieced the two together and said, oh, well, I watch TV, I have an interest in that. When I tell people a breakdown of how the shows that I watch and this is what happened and that's what happened, I said, well, I could see myself taking that to another level as a career, in a sense of what do I have to do? What is needed in order to tell these stories or to actually get on television? My mother has had a big influence in my life. I could truly say that so many similarities between the two of us. If I say that I'm shy, I can say that I can see moments where I get that from her. If I say that I'm extremely loud, without knowing it, I definitely could say it's from her. The sense of finding out who I am, or finding out the path I wanted to take in life, being a producer, watching television, doing all these things. As much as she joked about it, I look it back and saying she joked about these things, saying you watch too much TV, I think she knew that somehow I would get into television. Hi everyone, I'm Darrell Brown. I'm a producer for CUNY TV's digital series, a new show called Shades of Us, as in the US. Well, normally I'm behind the scenes, but the opportunity to reach out and find about people who grew up in a multiracial background. This is what is the essence of this series.
When I look at the ways in which Black people are depicted generally in Western media, I don't recognize the people. They're stereotypes, they're flat images. They're not people that we can really identify in that personal, human-connected kind of way.
I've seen so many things as an African American that makes me question, or made me question growing up, sort of, is it harder to be an African American than any other race? And I say that because if you look at how the portrayal of people of different races, how they get treated, that's something that I experienced. But I don't use that as a crutch to say, well, it's just my life, oh, let it be, oh, it's what it is.
Nobody in my family looks like me. The brother and sister that I grew up with are very pale skin, they've got light red hair, and I look like an oddball in this family. When I looked in the mirror, I would see myself as the same as the people in my community. There was a really difficult period for me from basically 6th grade to high school, where, for lack of a better word, I was a pariah, partly because of my race. And I really had some severe self-esteem issues.
When I look at the sense of being multiracial, especially when it comes with the shades of the variations of color, I could only answer the side of someone who's the same shade of me, and how that could make them feel. Not saying that it will make them feel, but how it could make them feel. And to have someone who has to express or explain why they're not just defined by their one side of their mix, of their race, of who they are, they're being multiracial. It's the sense that no, they're a culmination of two races, and to how people's perception on what that means, how that makes them feel. Because again, I could only feel one way, be it that I know my upbringing, how I grew up in roughly what the perceptions of what a black man or black male, would have to deal with.
My interest was really motivated by making paintings of people that I hadn't seen painted before. Being half Japanese and not really having other friends that looked like me or had the same stories shaped my vision of the world. Everybody can have a different story and a different background and look different, but there's a commonality.
But how a person who's multiracial would have to, I don't know, but I would love to hear their story and just how they've made it as a way to self-identify, to say openly, this is who I am.